Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Sideshow Collectibles Star Wars Clone Wars figure unboxing and review video. Now today we're going to be taking a look at none other than Commander Cody himself. This is, just like the Commander Gantch figure, quite an old release now. I think he dates again way back to the 2012s, and that means that this guy is going to be probably showing some signs of age. Now I quickly want to apologize for any of you who thought that this was the Hot Toys Commander Cody based on the thumbnail. I want to apologize for that. This is the Sideshow Collectibles one. The reason I picked up this particular version was because when the Hot Toys one does come out, I'm sure a lot of people who have this one are going to want to compare the two releases, see the differences, if you know what I mean. So I will be doing that comparison when he does come out. And also, this one comes with the Phase 1 helmet. The Hot Toys figure doesn't, so I can actually have two different looks for Commander Cody in the display, so that's definitely a huge benefit. Now, I actually picked this guy up off eBay, so if you are looking for older Clone Wars style figures, you can check your local buy-sell trade groups, eBay, Gumtree, or whatever you have in your area, and you may get lucky and find yourself a figure like I did. Those of you who are heading down to the comments right now to ask me how much I paid, don't think I'm going to reveal that because it's not really important to the course of this video, but if you are looking for them, take a look at your buy-sell trade groups. Either way, while you're down in the description, why not hit that subscribe and bell notification icon so you're notified as soon as brand new Hot Toys, third-party or Sideshow content goes live on the channel. Either way, what we're going to do now is get the box laying flat in the light box and do the unboxing. And here we have the box art for Commander Cody himself. And as you can see, the years have not been kind to this box. It's slightly yellowed and it's a little bit crinkled here and there, but I'm sure the figure inside is going to be perfectly fine. But either way, on the front of the box, picture of Commander Cody in his Phase 2 armor. On the side there, picture with the Phase 1 helmet that actually does look really awesome. And then on the other side, a picture of the Temuera Morrison head sculpt. Of course, on the back of the box, you get a couple of screen grabs of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and a little sneak preview at another 3 figures, I almost said 2, 3 figures in the line, being these 2 clones and this little girl. I haven't actually watched all of Clone Wars yet, so I'm not familiar with who these particular clones are, but I will definitely continue watching, and I'll let you know when I decide if I'm going to be picking up this set or not. But either way, again, just like we saw with Commander Gantch, a whole heap of information on the inside of the box there. You can freeze frame that and read that if you'd like. Same thing there as well, except this time it tells us all of the accessories that are included with this particular figure. I like how it says generous assortment of switch out hands. Thank you, Sideshow. I'm sure it is very generous, and that it is. Look how many hands this guy does come with. This time I'm going to just be unboxing this side of the box, and the accessories I'll be showing you in the next segment anyway. I don't really see a need to pull that out here and now, but you will, again, I said, see them in just a second. But here we have Commander Cody himself. He comes wearing his Phase 1 helmet, but as you all know, in my display, the clones will be wearing all of their Phase 2 buckets. I really do like how that looks, though, and I have to say, the armor on this guy looks absolutely sensational. Now, someone asked me whether or not the little Hot Toys logo on the bottom of the box meant they did the weapons or the armor. I have specifically been told that they did the weapons, but I know a lot of people do believe they helped with the armor as well. Either way, whatever contribution Hot Toys made to this set, I'm sure they definitely did their best for back in the day. Either way, what we're going to do now is get all of the accessories laid out in the light box and take a look at everything he comes with. And here we have all of the accessories that come with Commander Cody. Now, as you can see, he definitely comes with a bunch of stuff. But before we get stuck in, I want to say a huge thank you to Ryan Kirkwood. Without Ryan, the figure preview series wouldn't be possible, and I actually don't know of any bigger Clone Wars fan out there, so this video is dedicated to Ryan. Either way, let's start off by taking a look at the display base first. As you can see, unfortunately, I was unsuccessful in my hunt for an exclusive version of Commander Cody. I just got the normal release here. As you can see, just a straight black and Star Wars nameplate over the top there. This figure is actually from 2009. That's incredibly old, so bear that in mind when we're taking a look at some of the accessories. So unfortunately, again, I didn't get the exclusive display base. Now let's start off by taking a look at the Temuera Morrison head sculpt. If there was one single piece in this set that would really show this figure's age, it would probably be this piece right here. I mean, you can kind of see the resemblance. The scar work is definitely there, but again, it's got that really weird waxy texture about it. The paint is also very soft. It kind of looks like he's got a very thick layer of foundation over the top, and I just don't think it looks all that good, but for back in the day, I'm sure this was perfectly serviceable. Now let's take a look at his 2 helmets. I really like when Sideshow, when they were releasing their clones, they sometimes popped in the Phase 2 and Phase 1 helmets when the armor was technically the same, and I really like that we got two with Commander Cody. Which one do I prefer? I'm actually kind of leaning towards this one right here. I love all the additional bits and pieces. You do have to pop on the additional antennas, which is pretty straightforward and easy to do, and once you do it, it looks a lot more detailed than what we saw with the Phase 1. It still looks good, don't get me wrong, and I like the mean look of the bigger visor and the sort of downwards pointing mouth. It looks really good, but for me personally, in this instance, I'll definitely be going with the Phase 2. Now, he actually does come with this little piece here, which is his tiny little backpack, and I say tiny because it's not actually that big. Usually, the clone jetpacks slash backpacks that we get are far larger. I actually don't know if this is in fact a jetpack. You'll have to let me know down in the comments below, but the way you attach it to the figure is pretty straightforward. It's just magnetic, and it literally just pops on there, so that's a really nice touch. I'm glad there's no clips or hooks, unlike the Jango Fett and the Boba Fett, which were a right pain to do. Now, this right here is the DC-15 slash DC-15A Big Blaster, and it looks really good. It is just painted in a flat gunmetal color, though there isn't any of that wash on there that we see on the DC-17 pistols. You can see they're a little bit more weathered, a little bit more of that sort of silver dry brushing over the top. I actually do prefer this look to this cleaner sort of look. It does give it that more cartoon aesthetic, though, so I guess it kind of works for Commander Cody. Now, he does come with this one right here, which I'm pretty sure is the DC-15S. Again, this piece can swivel back and sort of peg into place. It's rather secure when you pop it on there. Then you can have his little stock at the back, but of course, most of the time they used it forward. Now, unfortunately, due to its age, this piece likes to flop down, but if you sit it just right, it will actually stay where you put it. But anyway, the mine doesn't want to play ball here today. It just wants to flop all over the place. So either way, you can definitely make it happen if that's what you'd like to do. Now, it also does come with these little additional feet, the action running feet. Now, I don't know how much running around he did on Utapau or any other planets here on, but his feet are really, really dirty and somewhat glossy for some reason. It's got like an oil slick look about it. I don't know why they didn't do this on the rest of the armor, if this was the look they were going for, but you'll see that a little bit more on the figure itself. He also does come with this tiny little piece here, which is actually a neck collar piece that you use in conjunction with the head sculpt. It kind of makes the join, the seam, if you will, between the head sculpt and the neck a little bit more seamless. So he also does come with this piece right here, which is, of course, Emperor Palpatine executing Order 66, and he does come with a hand specially designed to hold the hologram, and that looks absolutely awesome. I'm having a tough time to decide if I'm going to actually display my figure with this, because obviously that was the fall of the clones when they went from heroes to kind of villains, and I don't know if I want to really represent that on my shelf, but still, this is a really, really nice touch. When you hit it with some lights, it really does come to life. Either way, that's pretty much it for the accessories. Sideshow were right, though, when they said it comes with a generous array of hands. You can see all the different gestures, and I took a look at those in a little bit more detail in the Commander Ganch video, so definitely go ahead and check that one out if you'd like to see the hands a little bit closer up. But either way, what we're going to do now is get Commander Cody himself out here and take a closer look. And here we have Commander Cody himself wearing his Phase 1 helmet, standing straight up and down the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. And I have to say, I am loving the way this figure looks. There's only two clones that I absolutely love the look at and have to have in the collection, no matter what format they're in. That's Rex and that's Cody. Those two are my all-time favorites, and I'm so very glad that I now can own not only this version, but also the Hot Toys one for both of those different characters. Yes, I will be doing a Sideshow Phase 2 Captain Rex figure review sometime in the near future, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. But either way, talking about Cody himself, I love the way this guy looks. The armor looks spectacular. I do like the Phase 1 helmet, but I personally will be going with the Phase 2 in the collection. And overall, I just love the way this guy looks. Just standing there, he looks commanding, imposing. The armor itself just absolutely pops. I love the orange. It's very vibrant. Not too in your face, but it really does work for this particular version of the character. Although, I cannot wait to compare this to the Hot Toys release. I know that the detail is going to be 10 times, maybe? I don't know if that's too much of a stretch, but it's definitely going to be a big improvement to what we're seeing here. But where I'm really curious to see the difference is the sculpt in the armor itself. But either way, what we're going to do now is take him off the rotating turntable, punch in, and take a closer look at the details. And here we have Commander Cody himself up close and personal. Now, I've taken the liberty of popping on his Phase 2 bucket because that's the look that I'm actually preferring on this figure, which is surprising for me because usually I like the Phase 1 helmets better, but either way, I think it works very nicely on the figure himself, and so too does the rest of the armor. Unfortunately, on mine, I think the previous owner might have posed him with his arms up, but I think these shoulder pads are meant to be posed a little bit further down. I might try hitting them up and then try forming them to the body itself, because at the moment, they stick up and it kind of looks a little bit goofy. But either way, looking at the detail on the rest of the armor, for its age being from 2009, it actually looks surprisingly good. Yes, some of the bigger black gashes and marks are a little bit obvious with being, you know, a little bit of a boring paint application. They could have been done a lot nicer nowadays, and with the Hot Toys one, I'm sure they will be. But again, for back in the day, this, I'm actually surprised at how good the quality is. I've actually always wondered what this little screwdriver looking piece is. You'll have to let me know down in the comments below, but it's there and it's all nice and accurate to what we saw on film. Now again, I don't know if Hot Toys were the ones to have done this armor or the body or the weapons, but I've been told specifically it was the weapons, so do let me know if you have any more up-to-date accurate information down again in the comments section below. Now one annoying thing with the armor on these clone figures is they are incredibly loose and like to float around, which is kind of good for articulation, but not for posing, because when you leave him on the shelf, sometimes things tend to slide down and get all mixed up and out of place, especially when you have stuff like this, where I'm pretty sure this line is supposed to continue down his arm. When you're moving him around, it really does get all futzed and meddled with and all out of place, which again is a little bit frustrating. But overall, I really like how Commander Cody looks, and that little backpack on the back, again, magnetically just attaches very nicely. I actually cannot wait to add the Hot Toys one to the collection and do a comparison to this figure itself. Panning the camera down to give you a closer look at the rest of the outfit, or I should say armor, on Commander Cody. As you can see, it's pretty much what you'd expect with some clone armor, although mine's having a weird issue where this leg portion is further down than the other side. You can of course futz with it all, but as I just said, it's a bit of a challenge to get everything looking just right 100% of the time. It requires a lot of work. Now focusing on the feet first, as you can see, it does have that sort of shiny, oil slick and very dirty effect to it. The dirtiness slowly evaporates, disappears all the way up the leg. I would have liked it to be a little bit more heavy down here before it starts getting a lot cleaner, but still it kind of conveys the look of him running around on the battlefield. It's just a little bit heavier on the feet themselves. I mean, on the underside, they are completely soiled, very, very dirty, whereas on the rest, it's a little bit more basic. Again, those black gashes are very, very obvious and very, very sort of in your face. I wish they were a little bit more blended in and maybe even sculpted in. At the moment, everything that you feel on here is all just paintwork. It's not actually textural, sculpted in detail. It's all just painted on there. Does it work for the overall look of the figure, especially at a distance? Yeah, absolutely. It definitely looks the part, but up close and personal when you start inspecting it, it kind of doesn't look as good as I think it could have. Just going over articulation on Commander Cody. Now, this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful with the joints. If you have your very own Commander Cody, or you're planning on getting one, I'm sure you can push the joints a little bit further than I'm willing to go. Now, if you've already seen the Commander Gantz review, it's kind of the same articulation setup on this guy as well, so I'm going to go a little bit quicker than I otherwise might have. Either way, starting off with the head itself, it goes forward to about there, goes back to about there, you get a swivel and a bit of pivot as well. It's just on one of those traditional double peg style 1/6 scale neck joints, and it works perfectly fine. Now the arms themselves, because the armor pads go down a little bit further, it only goes out to about there. Going forward, it goes pretty much unrestricted until it starts to butt into this piece again. You do have a swivel at the bicep, which you do have to activate by using a pivot point rather than the armor itself, because otherwise you'll just rotate the armor. You'd also have a double bend at the elbow, but again, because of the nature of this piece, it will restrict it just a little bit, and you do have traditional 1/6 scale sideshow joints that are a little bit longer, but definitely get the job done. Now the torso itself, because of how many bits and pieces of armor there are here, it's a little bit more restricted, but you get forward to about there, so pretty much nothing at all. You get a little bit of swivel, but just be careful that you're not scuffing up the paint as these pieces do collide, and then a tiny bit of pivot as well. Now the legs actually on mine are rather stiff, which is definitely a good thing, but going forward to about there, you can rotate the armor and then go a little bit higher, so you can get a proper bend out of that leg itself, and then out you get it to about there as well. Now you do have a swivel at the upper thigh, a really decent double bend at the knee itself, again hindered ever so slightly by this piece right here, and then finally for the foot you do have a traditional sideshow style joint that again is a tiny little bit longer than your normal Hot Toys pegs. And now of course for a quick side-by-side comparison, standing next to his Jedi Jedi General, here we have General Kenobi standing alongside Commander Cody, and I think it looks really, really good. The scale looks about right. I don't know how tall Ewan McGregor is in comparison to the supposed made-up CGI height of Tamira Morrison, but I think this works perfectly fine. Now, what will be interesting is to wait and see when the Hot Toys one comes out, if that's going to be taller or indeed shorter than the Sideshow clones, because that's going to determine how the rest of the collection of clones is going to look standing together. But for now, I kind of really do like the way this looks. Just wrapping up on the Sideshow Collectibles Commander Cody. Now, this figure was released way back in 2009, so in some aspects it is starting to show its signs of age. I know that where this guy is lacking, the Hot Toys one will 100% improve on, and I personally cannot wait to do that comparison, but having this one in hand now, you can't really beat the ability to have this right now. You can have the Phase 1 helmet, you can have the Phase 2, the unhelmeted look, he comes with a bunch of hands, he comes with a bunch of different blasters, and of course the Order 66 Emperor Palpatine hologram. This is still a very nice, very stacked release, so I'm glad that I personally was able to find him. Yes, as I said, that Hot Toys one is going to be a big improvement, but having this one right now, I can't wait to pose him alongside Rex and the other clones already in my collection, and then when the Hot Toys one arrives, I'm going to pop the Phase 1 helmet on this guy, and then have two different looks for Cody, and I'm hopefully going to be picking up the Phase 1 version of Rex again. Let me know down in the comments below if that's something you'd like to see, possibly a retro re-review, because he was one of the earliest videos that I actually ever did, and that video doesn't quite hold up to the modern day standards. So as I said, let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see a re-review on the Phase 1 Rex, but keep your eyes peeled for the Phase 2, because that's coming up very soon. I also do have Gree, Neo, and Bakara, and hopefully a few more will be coming in as well, so definitely stay tuned for that. Now, I picked up mine off eBay, so if you are looking for these older Sideshow clones, check your local buy-sell groups, check Facebook, check eBay, check Gumtree or Trading Post or Craigslist or whatever kind of third-party buying option you do have, and you might get lucky and find yourself a clone. Facebook Marketplace is actually also a very good place to look, so look around and I'm sure you'll be able to find whichever clone you're looking for. Now, if you are heading down to the description or if you're heading down to comment, why not hit that like button while you're down there, and also check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the brand new awesome Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.